Welcome back. It's not very often that one gets to go inside the secret world of an elite special operations unit to see how they train and prepare for war. But that's exactly what our Ron Andruss did recently. He's out at the new digital multi-purpose range complex with the 3rd Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment, giving us an exclusive look at the Army's premier offensive infantry force. Ron, how's it going out there?
Well, Susanna, I've covered a lot of high-speed training over the years, but I have to say, none of it comes close to the skill level, firepower, or execution of a Ranger live fire.
Hey, birds are inbound.
Our contributions to the national defense of this country are significant.
They move further, faster, and fight harder than any other soldiers under any conditions and arrive by land, sea, or air anytime, any place.
We are a direct action special operations force. We're considered the Army's elite infantrymen, the best infantrymen in the United States Army.
The Rangers of the 3rd Battalion, 75th Ranger Regiment are at it again, training hard and preparing for their 15th deployment.
Well, this week's training is the first part in a series of events that we would consider a validation exercise for all of our platoons that are getting ready to deploy. This is the live fire component to that, so it's important in terms of integration and synchronization of all these assets that a platoon is going to see when they go to combat.
We'll have all 4 rifle companies from 3rd Ranger Battalion training here. It's a total of 12 platoons, integrated mortar platoon elements supporting snipers and all the enablers that go with a Ranger platoon strike force that deploys to combat.
This training gives Rangers confidence and helps their leaders understand how to effectively employ their assets.
We attempt to stress those pieces of the operation the platoon leader and platoon sergeant have the greatest impact on. Synchronization of assets, synchronization of the maneuver elements, and a lot of the leader task here, we look to the platoon leader and platoon sergeant, put them in this demanding environment. It gives us some feedback as to some things we need to focus them on prior to deployment and kind of feedback on how well they're performing together as a team and in terms of leading their platoon.
The leader training involved in synchronizing fires and effects on target is essential for leader development, as well as building confidence in the youngest to oldest Rangers in their individual weapon systems and combining those effects to ultimately close with and destroy the enemy.
Mortars, snipers, rockets, air support. Rangers bring serious firepower to the fight.
The confidence built in utilizing their organic weapon systems as well as integration of mortars, snipers, external enablers, and everything that builds that confidence is essential, as well as the realism that 3rd Ranger Battalion has put into this training with explosions on target, as well as seeing the effects of their friendly impacts of the weapon systems is crucial to training Rangers for combat.
There's a little bit of science to it too. It's also understanding, capabilities and how closely you can fire these various ordnances in proximity to troops. A lot of things that they've got to think through and they've got to understand. And the live fire range, what it does is, because you see them in action, you see their effects, you understand the impacts that it can have and why it is that these rules and regulations with regard to proximity troops have to be followed.
This live fire training is preparing these Rangers to be able to move further, faster, and fight harder when they deploy downrange.
This is the last platoon level live fire training any of these platoons will get prior to doing this for real on an objective in Afghanistan.
Rangers work hard and train often to ensure that they remain a lethal, highly effective, and experienced force ready to close with and destroy the enemy any place or any time.
Ron, was there anything new or different about this train-up?
Well, the Rangers built all the structures you see here on the new DMPRC, like the one behind me, which allows them to conduct their live fire training here at Fort Benning instead of having to deploy off to another installation, and allows them to spend more time at home with their families. And on a side note, other units around posts who train here can also use these structures to conduct their live fire training.